six full card predictions for UFC Fight Night. Yadong Song versus Chris Gutierrez. Also in the co-main event, we got Anthony Smith versus Khalil Rountree. It's a decent, okay free card. Hey, we're going to look to find some spots, and let's break down this card. Hey, Train, you ready?
Yeah, man, let's go.
All right, let's go. First fight of the night, we got a women's fight. We got Rayan Dos Santos versus Taira Alencar. Dos Santos, 14-6, minus 170. Coming in against Taira, 4-0, plus 140. Honestly, these are two grapplers. They're two very green fighters. There's no way from a financial standpoint that I'd be confident in either of them. It's funny that the 14-6 fighter is the favorite here. I mean, no confidence. So you know what? I'm just going to go with the undefeated girl. I'll go against the grain, but I will not be betting this fight. There's just not enough footage available for me, and just no real confidence. I don't know either of them that well. You pick up on anything here?
Well, I picked up that they both are grapplers, and what happens in our experience, what happens when two grapplers go against each other? It's a striking match, right? And I haven't seen much in their striking to be excited for. Not like one of the girls later on in the card where I do see something in her striking to be excited for. That's a little bit to come later, but yeah, nothing to see striking. So it's kind of weird. So I feel like it's gonna be a long drawn out fight. I do feel like two grapplers make it to the cards. And when two grapplers make it to the cards, what do you rather have in your pocket? A minus 170 or a plus 140 or whatever the decision line so may be later on this week when we find out. So, I mean, I don't like Talita and Salar or whatever her name is. I don't like her, but I think the odds based on their style say to pick her as the money line. But truthfully, I do see this going past the 2.5 round mark, to be honest with you. They're just going to stymie each other. And I mean, the one girl that Talita, all her finishes are rear naked chokes. Like, you get to UFC, it's just not that easy to on the good fighters to put on a rear naked choke that easily, right? Like no one just rear naked chokes lets you get to your back and go, oh, do that, right? So we don't have enough footage to actually make a legit pick on this, but I'm gonna take the dog for now.
All right, moving on. I'm very shocked. This is the second fight of the card, unless my order's wrong. I got Tatsuro Taira versus Carlos Hernandez. Tatsuro, 14-0, minus 500, monstrous favorite. Obviously coming in as the grappling phenom, as they want to call him, but he's looked terrible his last few fights. And then he's coming in against Carlos Hernandez, a very, very tough kid who just seems to be getting better and better and better every fight. He's coming off that brutal knockout victory over Denise Bond. I think he finished it. Knockout.
Yeah,
Denise
Bondar. Barely, right at the end.
Yeah. And Bondar, a lot of people are going to say, oh, he was exposed as a fraud. I don't think he was exposed as a fraud. I think Carlos Hernandez just fucking showed up, man. He's getting better, man. He's got the win over Altamirano. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, that guy's not very good. But you know what? Even that guy's getting better too, man. These guys are tough guys. And Carlos Hernandez showed great takedown defense in that fight. I think he's the way better striker. To me, this is mind-blowing, minus 500. Tatsuro's looked like shit the last two fights. I've been waiting to fade him. Am I super confident he loses here? Not super confident, because if he gets the takedown, if he can get the takedowns at ease and at will, he's going to win this fight. But if he can't get those takedowns, he is going to get messed up on the feet by Carlos Hernandez. So the plus 380 is definitely worth me stabbing. Not a parlay piece at all, but I will be playing the dog here. Am I crazy, or what do you think?
I don't think you're crazy. Carlos Hernandez has shown that he is a dog, right? So, yeah, man. I mean, that fight against Bondar, he didn't get taken down. And when he did, he would pop back up, right? So the get-ups are good. Taira makes a living on taking people down and just controlling them. So all that finish equity people talk about, I haven't seen it lately, right? So he's supposed to be a whiz on the ground, which he is. The grappling edge is right in Tatsuro's. He has the grappling edge here, don't get me wrong. I'm not too sure about the wrestling edge, though. Right? And you need the wrestling to get to the grappling, right? So I'm not sure. I'm not saying that Tatsuro doesn't win this fight, but I'm saying that the odds are crazy. Plus 380 on a guy that's not too bad, not too shabby. 65% takedown defense in the UFC isn't too shabby. I'm not saying that he won't get on the ground. I'm saying he might pop up from the ground, though. He's not that guy he never came to me as that guy that would just stay on the ground. And believe it or not, he's probably I'm going on a limb here to say he's Mexican and he won't get finished here because they tend not to. I mean, the over is probably really high. So when this does hit, a good pick might be the over 1.5, over 2.5, because they might set it really low that Tatsuro is just gonna like they love this guy and the Lions. So they might think this guy's just gonna go out and tap out Hernandez. I don't even think that's the thing. I think this goes longer than people give it credit for. And if anything, the guy getting knocked out might be Tatsuro because the hands aren't great. They're okay though. They're not the worst, right? Like we've seen
Carlos is the better striker,
Oh,
man.
for sure he's the better striker. Tatsuro's not he's green and he's working on it. I'm trying to give him a little bit of credit here. They just haven't the hands haven't followed the grappling, and you got to get better as a fighter. And now he's like 4 or 5 fights into the UFC, and I just haven't seen the improvements in Tatsuro for the prospect that he is. That's all. Not warranted a minus 500. That's all.
No chance. Yeah, exactly. All right, moving on. We got another huge favorite. We got 15-0 Daniel Marcos taking on Carlos Vera, 11-3 plus 380. I get it. Daniel Marcos, undefeated, very, very well-rounded fighter, very hard to take down, and he's the better striker here. Last fight, terrible output, low volume, did nothing. I thought Davy Grant beat him, to be honest. I had money on Marcos, so I won money. So I'm happy I won, but I thought Davy Grant beat him personally. But I do like Daniel Marcos to win this fight. I just would prefer to see some urgency and letting his hands go, his kicks go, his striking go. I'd like to see him be more fluid, more confident. But this is a spot where he's got to beat Carlos Vera. I mean, Davy Grant is better than Vera at everything. So how is he not going to beat Vera? Davy Grant's actually a good grappler. He's a better. I think Grant's better than Vera everywhere. So I think Marcos wins this fight for sure. I just hope that he finishes or is exciting at least. What do you think?
I think the odds suck, but I do think this is a get right spot for Marcos. I do think the UFC is throwing him a bone here, and that he should finish this guy. There's a couple things. Vera, first fight in the UFC. Vera, mostly a ground fighter. I don't see him taking down Marcos for a very long time. I don't see him, if he does, even holding him there. And I would tend to say that Marcos was a little bit gun shy in that fight against Davy Grant. And if you're going to be good in this organization, you're going to have to get better fight to fight. So if one of his coaches didn't tell him that he was fucking gun shy in that fight, then you need to change camps, right? Like straight up, like someone's got to tell you what you did wrong in your fight. And if you can't take that as a fighter, like he was gun shy, he showed good skills. Like Davy Grant's a tough guy. He showed good skills. By no means do I think he won that fight. I won money too. I was clenching my butt cheeks and I can't believe that he won it. He was like, it was probably one of the worst decisions I've ever seen in my life, even though I won money on it. You know what I mean? I get thumbs of breaks though, but yeah, not much to say here. I think Marcos is set up here. It could be a parlay piece. And I also think he finishes him, to be honest with you.
If he throws, and I hope he does.
I got you, like I said, man. Like you got to get better in these things. Like we've seen Taira for like before we were talking, Taira 5 fights. I haven't seen any improvement. This is Marcos's chance to show me some improvement. That's all.
Yep. All right, moving on. We got another ladies fight. We got Stephanie Egger, 8-4, coming in at plus 130, and then we got the favorite Luana Santos, 6-1, coming in at minus 160. I really like Luana in this spot. That being said, I'll be like, I'm biased. I think Stephanie Egger's crap. I think she's a bit of a quitter. I think if she can't bully you and take you down and be on top of you the whole fight, she's got nothing going for her. Like I don't think she's a huge submission specialist. I think she's just a strong, tough, kind of tough girl, I guess. But she's not a great striker. Luana's got the striking. Luana's probably got the submissions. The only way Luana loses this fight is if she has no takedown defense and she's on the bottom the whole fight. That's the only way I see her losing this fight. At least that's me personally. And so I'm going to hope that she does have takedown defense because you know what? Stephanie Egger probably is maybe more physically strong, maybe, but she just doesn't have the skills. She's not a big puncher, not a big striker, not a big submission threat. So I'm going to go with the finisher, the girl that I prefer to watch. I'm going to go with Luana Santos. She finished Juliana Miller quite easily. I hope she does it again. Whether she will or not, we'll see. But I like Santos at minus 160. I think that's good value there. What do you think?
I think Santos can knock her out. I personally think Santos can knock. I don't you think that Egger and Juliana Pena are almost the same type of fighter? Aside that Egger
Wasn't Pena, it was Miller.
Miller, sorry, Julianne Miller and Egger are almost the same type of fighter. Aside from the judo and Stephanie might be a little bit, but they're long, they're tall, they go to the grappling, they have no striking, and the only thing that Stephanie has is those judo throws. So Luana stays at any distance away from Stephanie. I don't think her pitter patter punches are going to do anything. Luana has looked like a killer on the feet. Her ground game has been up to snuff so far. She didn't get taken down in her last fight. That's all the fight metrics that we have on that. I mean, it's skewed, so I'm not going to even use that. Oh, she has 100% takedown defense. She's not going to get taken down. Not true. Not true. Watch your P's and Q's when you get too close to Egger. She'll use that judo hip throw. She'll use those Ronda Rousey throws to get you to the ground. But even if that happens, I don't think she can hold her there. And yeah, I think the more physical girl is Luana in this fight, to be honest with you. So I think she could be the one. And you know what? Egger doesn't like to get hit, right? So one or two times she gets hit, she's gonna fucking back away. And then she's gonna shy away from coming in too close. And then that becomes just Luana's fight to lose. Minus 160 seems like a gift. Maybe we're wrong. It's women's MMA, sorry, but this one seems like a gift. Like, you got the more powerful striker, more well-rounded fighter, and she's actually not half that bad on the line here.
Yeah, and I like value-wise, I think the value is great. Like, I'm going to hit it for sure.
Yeah, man. Throw that with Marcos. If you can get plus money, just keep it at those two, right? I haven't done it yet, but
yeah. All right, moving on. We got a rescheduled matchup between Stevie Garcia, 14-5, coming in at plus 225, versus Melky Costa, 20-6, minus 225. We've already broken down this fight before. Nothing's really changed for me. I think Costa's going to win this fight. Stevie Garcia, always live for a knockout. So if he's going to win, it's going to be by knockout. Don't think he's going to get it here. And the thing about Stevie Garcia is this guy is usually kill or be killed. So I almost feel like, you know what, you could even play the under 2.5, which or fight not to go the distance. And it's coming in at like minus 200, which covers both sides. I mean, you could do that or choose your winner by finish. Because I don't think this fight's going the distance. Stevie Garcia kills or gets killed. So I think Costa's going to finish him personally. What do you think?
yeah, I think Costa finishes him. Nothing's changed. The only thing that's changed is the money line's a little bit bigger. I don't like that, but you're getting him at 225 last week, and I thought that was a gift, to be honest with you. A lot of people were like, oh, I don't know about Milk, but like Stevie's not technical, and like he's been bounced around in the first round, aside from that Chase Hooper fight. And we all know how you feel about Chase Hooper, right? So like but like it's true though, like Chase shows no like gall. But like against Nuremberg, was it Nuremberg? Yeah, he fought Nuremberg in his last fight and finished him in the second round. But he lost that first round. Like really like easily lost that first round. And maybe if Nuremberg didn't gas or get stupid with his fight IQ, and then he probably would have coasted to a victory in that fight, to be honest with you. And the Luis Pena fight, I know it's a long time ago. That one always sticks out in my mind. Like Luis Pena wasn't that good, and like you let him sit on your back forever, all fight. So yeah, man, those are red flags for Stevie Garcia. I mean, obviously he is alive for that knockout, but I think Melk is actually a smarter fighter than we give him a little bit credit for here. He is more technical, his striking looks way better, and he does take part in the grappling. So, I mean, yeah, man, give me Melk with a good vote of confidence too.
All right, moving on. We got some wide odds here. We got Hyun Sung Park, 8-0, minus 500, versus Shannon Ross, 13-8, coming in at plus 380. Shannon Ross stinks, so I get it, but minus 500 is wide. It's too wide. It's not playable for me. It's just not playable. It's going to be a straight up pass for me. I don't. There's not too many fights that I straight up pass and won't play. I will not be playing this fight. I guess give me Park to win, but more because I just don't think Ross is good at all. But there's no way I'm playing this fight. What do you think?
I mean, Ross does still not let anyone take him down, right? I mean, his takedown defense in the UFC and all losses are still 100%. But that's because he's getting starched by the last two guys that got him, right?
Guys who hit hard.
Yeah, and well, surprisingly enough, he He survived against Vinicius Salvador, 3 knockdowns in the majority of that fight, right? So that was into the second round, almost the third round, and until he got knocked out, right? Or so. I mean, the other guy's a finisher too, right? I've watched his fights; he looks like a killer. But a lot of his good work comes on the ground. He has shown some hands. Don't get me wrong, but if Shannon Ross has a strong suit, it's his hands. Like that's his strong suit. That's probably the only thing that he does semi good, right? And it's not even that good, but like sometimes it's who you know, and that's why he's on there. We've seen this before with Nick Maximov and all those other guys. I think Park wins, but minus 500. This one is not like Daniel Marcos, where I've actually seen the evidence, right? So, I mean, Park should win this fight. Shannon Ross, this is probably his pink slip fight, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, yeah, for
That's
sure.
tough though, man. The strengths of Shannon is standing. He keeps them all standing, but he still loses, right? So like it's so hard to pick a guy when you actually do what you're supposed to do in a fight. Like, I'm not gonna get taken down. He doesn't get taken down, but he still gets finished, right? So
He finds ways to lose. He always finds a way to lose.
right. And that's what we said about Cody Brungers last week. And then
Fuck.
I relooked at it, and it's true though, but like I looked at who he was fighting and all that other stuff, and right, and I took a flyer on him because at the odds that they were, I did take a flyer on him. And yeah, man, he like did what he was supposed to do, right? Now, I don't know if Shannon Ross, and that has something to do with the camp that he was in, Mark Montoya. That has something to do with them like doing the whole shebang about Mark Montoya on the montage, and everything about that was all about Mark Montoya, and he just happens to be Cody's fucking coach. I believe in that kind of stuff. Like, I think that stuff, fighting is so much in the head that people don't, it doesn't matter about skill sometimes. When you think a guy isn't supposed to be in that mindset, and I've never seen Shannon Ross in that mindset. So give me the younger fighter, give me the more well-rounded fighter.
Yep. All right, guys, moving on to the main card. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. We got a 6-fight main card, and to open it up, we got Kenan Song, 21-7, coming in at plus 130. Versus Kevin Jousset, 9-2, minus 160. I think this is actually a very evenly matched fight. You got Song coming off that loss to Ian Machado Gary, where he took a beating. Yes, they stopped the fight. He was not knocked out. I think it was his eye was just like obliterated or something. I remember his eye was very, very swollen. That fight, he also dropped Ian Gary, if no one remembers, right at the end of the first round. It looked like he was about to knock out Ian Gary. Gary did recompose, whatever you want to say, came back, got the job done. But still, he went 3 rounds with Ian Gary, a good big striker. Now you got Kevin Jousset. I think he's kind of known as a striker, but his grappling is decent too. Like I would say he's fairly well-rounded fighter. I just think this is a very, very even matchup because do I think Kevin Jousset's as good as Ian Gary? No, I don't like Ian Gary, but I think he's a lot better than Kevin Jousset. So if Song could stand 3 rounds with Gary, I don't see why he can't stand 3 rounds with Kevin here. I think it's a close fight, and I think it's a pass. Like I don't think I'd be confident enough to pick one. But what do you think here?
I like Song in this spot, to be honest with you, because Jousset was what was that first fight he got? He was up against the big striker with the big power. What's his name, man? Jesus. I'm gonna find it because I need to. Kiefer Crosby.
Yeah.
So he was up against the big striker. Took him down once, subbed him in the first round. So Jousset, I feel like his game is all ground, and if it's stuck on the feet, Song has shown that he can fight on the feet. He dropped Ian Gary, right? Not again. I'm not in love with Ian Gary like half the other world is. But I do give him respect on his technical striking, and I do give him respect on his style. And but he is hittable. We've said that before, and he got hit, and Song dropped him, right? And funny enough, he fought that Rolando Bedoya guy in the last fight, got outstruck, but knocked down Bedoya the one time. He was outstruck 112-75, and he won. Before a few fights back, like maybe 4 fights back, he fought Derek Krantz, got taken down 3 times, and he still won. He fought Hector Aldana, got taken down twice, and still finished that fight. So he's shown that he can be taken down, get up, and win the fight. Jousset, like, he's shown that he can take a guy down and take his back and finish the fight. Like, I don't see. I think the striking is in Go Song's way. I think Song has fought the way better competition and has all the UFC experience on his side. And yeah, he's got about 65% takedown defense in about 8 to 9 UFC fights, which it's not half bad. He has his fair share of losses too, right? But he has his fair share of wins. And I remember that last fight, we're on Bedoya because we watched Bedoya in his first fight. We were like, yo, this kid's good. This kid's good. Song showed us that he can stymie that. And Jousset has never shown me anything on the feet. So what happens if he can't get this to the ground? I feel like Song on the feet is like, give me the money, right? So I'm going to take Song. I'm going to take Song by decision probably, but I wouldn't be surprised at the knockout. I'll be happy with the plus 130.
All right. Moving on, we got Andre Muniz, 23-6, coming in at plus 150, which at first glance looks a little shocking, but it's actually not. And he's taking on Jun Young Park, 17-5, minus 175. Muniz coming off of, I believe his last fight was the Paul Craig fight. Maybe I'm wrong, or is it, yeah, Paul Craig? Paul Craig subbed him.
Yeah.
Or knocked him out or subbed him?
I think he knocked him out. I'll double check for you while you're talking.
Either way, he finished him. Paul Craig finished him before that, and then before that, he got finished by somebody else too. He got tapped out by Brendan Allen. And then we got Park coming off of a fantastic victory over Albert Duraev, where he beat the living crap out of him with the jabs. And I'm not sure if he knocked him out or tapped him out either, because he likes to choke too. So it's funny because Muniz is obviously phenomenal grappler, but he has a lot of quit in him. It looks like I think like I don't know if he gasses or if he gets hurt and he gives up. Like he's been tapped and he shouldn't be getting tapped. And then you got Park, loves taking the back, loves the rear naked chokes. Don't think he's going to get the choke here, but he has a fantastic underrated jab, very very good jab. So I like him on the feet, and I think he's a good enough grappler to not get caught by Muniz. If you're on the Muniz side, it's pretty rare you're going to get him at plus money, so I guess I can understand if you want to take a stab at that. But I think Park's good enough grappler to not get subbed, and I think he's got the straighter, crisper punches. So I think Park does win this fight, and I think Park's fucking rolling here out of nowhere. This guy came out of nowhere, and he's been looking good. I think Park's a decent fighter. What do you think?
I think the striking is definitely on Park's side. He's definitely got the striking, even though it's rudimentary in the sense that it's mostly a jab. It's a 1-2, 1-2. It's better than anything Muniz throws. And Muniz has always showed in the last couple fights that he does have that quit in him. And he's also showed a shitty gas tank because by the end of the first round, he is looking gassed, buddy. And that's why he's getting tapped by Brendan Allen and stuff, because he's gassed. He's gassing out. And what does Park do better than anyone? He has massive amount of cardio, goes right for it. He'll keep the pressure on, push you up against the fence. Muniz, unless he can take him down, but like Muniz is not the greatest wrestler either. He couldn't take down Paul Craig, who has absolute shite takedown defense. So if he's not doing that, Jun Young Park, who's got okay takedown defense, which is at about 70%, I mean, I think he gets outworked. And to be honest with you, I think he gets outworked, then he gets tired, and then Park gets him down, then he takes the back, and he subs him. Like,
he could for sure,
last 3 fights. That's his fucking game script. All 3 fights. Like, how does it
Park almost loses the first round, and then you'll probably get some big plus money on him, and then he comes back and takes over.
Exactly, but how can you not like his style against Muniz's gas tank? Like,
yeah, no, I do.
I mean, styles make fights. This is the complete good style to take out a guy that gasses. Like, yeah, I like Park in this spot.
For sure. All right, moving on. We got a fun fight here, I think. We got Nasrat Haqparast, 15-5, minus 200 favorite, versus Jamie Mullarkey, 17-6, plus 170. I think Nasrat is a much better boxer. I think he's a much more durable, better chin. I think he's going to knock Jamie Mullarkey out, or he's going to beat him up. I think Mullarkey has one path to victory, and that is takedowns. Shoot. Hold him down. might work early because Dan Hooker did employ that strategy against Haqparast, and he won by taking Nasrat down. He didn't want to strike with him. So all fair play to Dan Hooker, but I don't think Mullarkey's going to be able to do that for 3 rounds. So maybe he does it the first round, but I think eventually Nasrat's going to find his spot on the feet, and he's going to chin him. So give me Haqparast, and I think he might knock him out, to be honest. I seriously think he might. But either way, I like him at minus 200 anyways, to be honest. And I think Mullarkey looked like shit against Makdessi. I think, I've never liked Jamie Mullarkey personally. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. What do you think here?
I think mini Kelvin Gastelum wins as well, to be honest with you. Let's go.
It's mini Masvidal. Mini Masvidal.
No, it's mini Kelvin Gastelum. Look at it.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, man. Anyway. My one knock on Nasrat's always been that he is low volume, right? So I'm always like, oh yeah, he's so low volume. That's how he makes these fights closer than they actually are. He was low volume against John Makdessi, 64 strikes, 2 takedowns. He got outstruck, but he won the fight. He was low volume against Bobby Green. He's low volume against Dan Hooker, but got taken down 3 times, right? But then he has these fights against Rafa Garcia, which is a good fight. 99 strikes landed. 104 against Alex Munoz. 171 in his last fight. So yeah, man, he sports a 78% takedown defense, and Jamie Mullarkey's not the greatest wrestler. He sports like a 35% takedown accuracy in the UFC. So I mean, for all intents and purposes, this should be a striking match. I don't think he knocks him out, to be honest with you, but if he puts down that 171, Jamie Mullarkey has shown to be durable. And that guy he got knocked off, who was it, Naimov that knocked him out? Naimov has big power, bro. Big power, man. I don't know. I said Armand didn't have any power, and he just blustered through being Dariush on the weekend. Remember, I said Sarukian had no power, and he blasted. And Nasrat's not finished a sandwich in a few fights. Like, you know what I mean? So
he finished his last fight. He knocked the first guy out first round, wasn't it?
No,
he can box guys up.
No way. He had 171 strikes. Unanimous decision. He hasn't finished anyone since Joaquim Silva back in 2019.
Huh. Okay, fair enough. I think Mullarkey's chinny, but fair enough, yeah.
I think he's chinny, but I don't know if Nasrat is good. That got that killer instinct, to be honest with you. Let's see if he gets better odds than Nasrat. Minus 208 so bad. I think he owns him in this fight. I think he stays off the ground and couple him with Jung Young Park, and let's see what happens, because that's a good set of money there.
All right, moving on to the featured fight. We got Sumudaerji versus 16-5 versus late replacement Tim Elliott stepping in on just a few days' notice. 19-13-1. There's absolutely no odds on this. At least there wasn't this morning when I was doing my artwork. I don't know if you see anything there. This is going to go, I mean, this is a very, very classic striker versus grappler, period. So either Tim Elliott's going to get lit up on the feet and potentially knocked out, or he's probably going to absorb some big shots, be a little bit dicey and awkward like he always is, and eventually get that takedown. And he's very good at scrambles, and eventually maybe get a choke, like some kind of sweep, some kind of something. I don't know. He's good at those scrambles. I know Makayev tapped him out last fight, but Tim Elliott is a good grappler. He is. And he's actually pretty durable too. Like I know the record's not great, but he's fought everybody. He's been cracked a lot, and it's not like he's going to sleep. Like he takes his beating, he does the chicken dance, whatever, but he's a pretty durable guy. So you know what? I'd like to see Tim Elliott knocked out, but I don't think he's going to get knocked out. I think he will be able to get the takedowns and score some points here. And I think he'll take over later in the fight, but obviously with no odds, I can't tell you whether I'm playing it or not. Right now, that's strictly just a breakdown. I don't know. How do you see it playing out?
I mean, if he can take him down, I think he'll win the fight. And because Sumudaerji's shown that his only 2 losses in his last 5 fights are by triangle choke and by armbar. So he looks like a lost fish on the ground. On the feet, he can knock out anyone. Tim, when he gets chinny, or when the gas tank kind of goes down, that's when his chain wrestling kind of stops going. It's usually the back half of the fight because he's going so hard in the first half. So he should be good at the same time Sumudaerji has got most of his power. I feel like he should wear on him, and he should said Tim by sub isn't that big of that bad of a deal. I think the experience is on Tim's side. I think he was close to winning that Makayev fight if he didn't. It wasn't so he made such bonehead moves halfway through the last half of that fight, right before he got tapped. So yeah, he might have been winning that fight, to be honest with you.
I just want to throw some respect out there for Sumudaerji. If you guys aren't familiar with this guy, go YouTube. I don't know if it's on YouTube or wherever you find your fights for your libraries, whatever. Watch his fight with Matt Schnell. That was one of the most exciting fights I've ever seen in my life. Yes, he lost it, but that fight was fucking crazy, man. Amazing fight. Amazing fight.
Yeah. Well, then he beats Malcolm Gordon, who has the worst chin ever. Andrei Sukmatath, who's not that great, and Zaruk Adashev, who was the worst hyped up fighter I've ever seen in the UFC. So, like, I mean, the wins are good.
I'm just talking exciting, not talent, but it was his fight with Schnell was violence.
Yeah, man. Well, I feel like I'm leaning towards Tim. And if we do a show around this week, maybe I'll change my pick. But for now, without the odds, without looking at anything, I'm leaning towards Tim.
Me too. All right, guys, co-main event. We got Anthony Smith versus Khalil Rountree. Anthony Smith, 37-18 veteran, coming in at plus 187. Rountree, 12-5, minus 225. Kind of surprising, kind of not. I think Smith, like a couple of years ago, people would have laughed and said Smith's going to take this guy and sub him easily, easily. But Smith looked so bad his last few fights. Low output, gun shy, kind of looks soft, doesn't look to be in the greatest shape anymore. And I mean, it happens. It sucks. Age catches up to everybody. If he has to stand and trade with Rountree, Rountree's going to chop those legs up because Smith is not good at defending leg kicks. So Rountree should piece him up on the feet. Anthony Smith's only hope here is a takedown and submit him. And he's got a chance at it for sure. In his prime, I would pick him to do that. I don't know if I can pick him to do that here. And I don't even love Rountree at all whatsoever. I don't trust the guy generally because he's hit and miss too. His gas tank's been horrendous in the past, and if he gasses, that's another path to victory for Smith. But Rountree has been at least improving while Smith is declining. So I will favor Rountree to piece him up on the feet, but I just can't have confidence in placing a lot of money on it. What do you think?
So yeah, I agree with the sentiments of his gas tank being bad beforehand, but it was after that Prakniel loss, which did go 3 rounds, and he let him just leg kick himself from the outside. I feel like he turned the corner. Like, he went second round with Modestas Bukowskis, kicked him in the leg, didn't look tired at all. Second round, Kyle Roberson, didn't look tired at all. He went 3 rounds in arguably a fight that he lost against Justin Kobe. But like, as he was tired, but he was still throwing in that last round. If you go, I don't have the fight metrics here, but that last round wasn't so like one-sided. You know what I mean? It wasn't so one-sided as a normal Khalil Rountree fight is one-sided. So the last round he got out. Who got struck here? Dustin Jacoby outstruck him 47-30. So like, let's be honest, that's a lot better than Khalil has done in the past. Now, like, Anthony Smith looked a shell of himself, and there's no reason for me to like even think why the fuck is wrong with Ryan Spann, and what is wrong with him that he didn't finish him the 8 times he could have finished him in that fight. One, I think the referees are so hit or miss nowadays. They let it go when you don't like. Who is it? Bobby Green got fucking flatlined this past weekend. Like, he should have stopped that fight like 8 punches before he got flatlined. Like, it wasn't even fair to Bobby. Like, that wasn't even fair to Bobby. Like, so like some fights, like, and Anthony Smith got hit 20 times in the head and they let it go. And so, but like, my thing is, if Khalil does have the killer instinct, and if he got you hurt, he's not like Ryan Spann. He fucking goes for it. That's it. That's my breakdown right there. Like, he's gonna get him hurt and he's gonna go for it and he'll finish him.
So you're going Rountree knockout?
Rountree finish. Knockout.
I'd like to see it because Anthony Smith rubs me the wrong way for whatever reason. I think he talks a lot of crap. He's kind of on his high horse, whatever, puts himself on a pedestal. I'd love to see a Rountree knockout. I just don't have the most faith in him. Moving on, we got the main event. We got Yadong Song, 27-1. Record might not look great, but he's fought everybody at a young age. The guy is a killer, and he is taking on Chris Gutierrez, 24-2 plus 300. I do think these odds are wide. I do like Yadong Song. I hope Song wins this fight. He looked great last fight when he took out that wrestler guy. Who?
No.
Yeah. Ricky, yes. And I thought Ricky was going to wrestle fuck him. So Yadong Song looked great. He looks better every fight. He comes out, he throws down. The guy's a machine. He can strike and he can march forward. So I do like that. Chris Gutierrez, best attack is his leg kicks, but how do you take leg kicks away? You fucking come right at you. Pressure takes the leg kicks away, and Yadong Song pressure fights. He will stalk you down. He will take those leg kicks away. So it's almost like Chris might have to wrestle here or something because I don't know what else he can do. He's not going to win this fight via leg kicks. Yadong Song is not going to stay on the outside and play a pitter-patter game. Yadong Song comes to bang. He's a very, very fun fighter. I'm rooting for him. I like him. He's the more exciting fighter. And he tries to finish fights, whereas Chris doesn't. Chris is more of a point fighter. So I'm rooting for Yadong Song. I think Yadong Song gets it done. I just don't love minus 400. I don't even think I'm going to be playing it at minus 400. What do you think?
I'm playing it. I think he kills him. Let's be honest. I put Yadong Song over. I've had him over Ricky Simone for a big bet last time. I'll have him over this guy this time too. He's a better striker. I don't care about the leg kicks too much because when you get punched in the face, that's what the judges see, not the leg kick. He has the better defensive grappler if Chris wants to grapple. If anyone is going to grapple in this fight, I think that he might grapple, but I don't think he will. Let's be honest here. He's faster. He's younger. He's fought the better competition. This is going to look like a better version of Pedro Muniz coming at Chris Gutierrez, and he lost that fight because Pedro Muniz, dogs guys, comes right after guys, goes right in their face. Same thing with Song, except this guy's better with more power, right? And that's it right there. I mean, I love Song in this fight. He's parlayable. He's my lock of the card. I think he beats Gutierrez everywhere, and yeah.
And they've done good work with him. I think he's at Team Alpha Male. He's really been improving. I mean, you don't want to say he's maturing and he's fighting smarter because he still fights like a fucking cannonball, which I love. Like, you know what? Sometimes you don't want to change the guy too much, but add that takedown defense, whatever that Team Alpha Male taught him, whatever. He's turning into like the wrestle boxer, punch as hard as hell. I like him. Exciting guy. Don't change your style. Don't become a point fighter. I love Yadong Song. Hope he does it. And there you have it, guys. Hope we smash it. We're going to drop our UFC pay-per-view video a little bit earlier this time because I know we've been behind a little bit. It's been a very busy month for us. So look out for the next few days. We'll have some more stuff out for you. We hope you kill it on Saturday. And drop us a comment, drop us a like, subscribe. Let us know your favorite pick, your favorite prop, your favorite dog, whatever you agree with, don't agree with. We love hearing from you. And any last words?
Yeah, man. Well, take care, guys.
Have a good one.